Hello and welcome to the Gambeta News Weekly African Infrastructure Updates. My name is Bob and I'll be giving you the updates we have seen on the continent this week. As you already know, Gambeta News is your plug for African infrastructure news, events, educative materials and jobs. Beginning this week, the 27th of August, I'm just going to run through what we've noticed across the continents. So first of all, what we have here is news from Malawi. Now, we picked up on this update here in Malawi. Now, it is like a trend we're not seeing across with the infrastructural developers and clients. Now, in Malawi, one of the ministers is taxing companies that are developing infrastructure in the country to build infrastructural projects as part of their corporate social responsibility. Now, it is something that we've noticed also in Nigeria. We've seen that, I know, with the construction of the railway lines in Nigeria, where the ministers for transportation was taxing the Chinese contractors to ensure that they build a university, a railway university, as part of their corporate social responsibility. So we're seeing the same trend happening in Malawi, and it's something that we are going to be seeing that is going to be moving across all African nations as time progresses. So in essence, contractors who are developing projects in countries will have to be building infrastructural projects as part of corporate social responsibility. I'm sure it's not going to be as in terms of value with the project that are currently developing, but at least they could put something down there. It could be a borehole project, it could be a primary health care facility, or the likes. So it is a good development, and it's something that's, at the end of the day, it's like buy one, get three free. So it is a good development in the right direction. Now, moving on, we're still seeing this issue of the GERD, where Ethiopia, Egypt, and Sudan are still at loggerheads trying to resolve with the huge infrastructure projects with the hydro dam, the gravity dam that is being constructed across the Nile. Now, the way this situation is progressing is Africans are trying to see how this issue should be resolved within Africa. African solutions to African problem. It is the way and is the future. So that is what this whole issue with the GERD, they're trying to see how the African Union should be able to resolve the issue between Egypt, South Africa, and Sudan, and come to some sort of an agreement with where we are with this issue of the Nile, controlling the flow of the water and the water that goes into the Nile and things like that. And hopefully the two major contenders here are Ethiopia and Egypt. But I'm sure at the end of the day, we're going to come up with some sort of resolution to this whole issue. Moving on, we see in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is halting illegal construction. Now, this is not something that is only unique to Zimbabwe. It also happens across Africa, where illegal structures are being set up without urban planning. And Zimbabwe is making a move to ensure that it can halt illegal construction. It's a good step in the right direction, because when you have structures coming up without some sort of planning and approval from the Urban Development Commission or whatever commission is set in place for urban development, you find out that where gutter system or flood protection system was supposed to have been, or a drainage system in essence, supposed to have gone into construction, people could build over that, and that could cause issues in the future, because then we still have floodings in cities that, as we saw in the rainy seasons across West Africa, where they were flooding. Those issues have cropped up because of lack of urban development and people also building illegally in places. So it's a good step in the right direction for Zimbabwe. Now we move on to Rwanda. In Rwanda is building their other sources of revenue, which is a good thing. Some African countries still rely solely on one primary source of revenue, and it's not a good one. But here in Rwanda, you can also say Rwanda is a nation for ICT. You can also say now Rwanda is also a nation for tourism. So it is a good thing, and it's something that it's like a no-brainer. It's like common sense, where any person should have multiple sources of income, not just one source of income. So every nation should have huge and very strong multiple sources of income. It ensures sustainability of the nation, it ensures longevity, and then it is good for any nation too. Moving on to South Africa, we can see with South Africa, South Africa is looking at a way where we can use infrastructure projects as a sort of a way to enhance economic recovery after this whole corona pandemic. It is something that everybody is doing at this time. It is something that not just only in Africa but other parts of the world is trying to ensure that they can be able to use funding for infrastructural projects as a way to recover the economy in other nations, in their nation or wherever. So infrastructure projects is important now in any African nation to be able to overcome this whole pandemic situation and then fight against recession. And this brings us to another article where in trying to recover from this whole pandemic with infrastructure projects, governments have to see how they can attract foreign direct investments. And this whole pandemic, especially in the country like Nigeria, it has shown weak government, a weak government system in the country, and a weak way of making the nation attractive for foreign direct investments into the country. However, in this article here, some think tanks have come up with some ideas on how government should be able to look at ways to attract funding into their own nation. And it is a very wonderful article to see there. It comes up with some very insights as to some key areas that should be getting some investments from foreign direct investors. Here we move on to Ghana. Ghana is attracting investments in their sugar factory, and this is a huge activity. It also ties into this article where we're seeing that a way for government to attract foreign direct investments is to see how they can make the country attractive. And here we can see that Ghana is making that country attractive for foreign direct investments. And one way of doing this is by setting the right policies that ensures that people can come into the nation and invest. So this is a huge step in the right direction for Ghana, and we hope to see Ghana boost their agro-allied industries. Moving on, Nigeria is making a very huge step in the right direction to see how they can be able to tackle the issue of quacks. Now, this is an issue that is not only particular to Nigeria, it's also is an issue that is faced by some other African countries. And we have quacks who are in the industry building substandard projects. Even clients too are guilty of this issue because some clients would not want to patronize professionals. They want to cut corners, they want to build things, they just want to raise structures. And at the end of the day, they end up losing it all because they just say penny wise, pound foolish, And this is an example of how the Nigerian government is trying to fight quacks. And one way of trying to fight quacks is by using the Building Regulation Agency to try and see how they can be able to fight quacks out of the system. So it's a good step in the right direction. Let's see how this pans out. And then if they can be able to get a good way of fighting quacks, I'm sure some other African nations can be able to learn from these steps that have been implemented in Nigeria. Moving on, in Rwanda, as I said earlier, Rwanda, we've seen two articles now. Rwanda is also making the nation very attractive for foreign direct investors. And with this cement factory, it has begun operation in Rwanda. So it's actually boosting the nation's GDP, at the end of the day. So it's a huge step in the right direction. And we hope to continue to see Rwanda work stronger and stronger in the African continent. In Kampala needs infrastructural projects and the public needs to protect them. And in protecting the infrastructural projects, it's something that is it's a project that has been put in place by government. However, the Ugandans need to protect it. All Africans, in essence, need to protect infrastructure projects that are coming up in their nations. Because if people are vandalizing these infrastructures, if people are not taking care of them, then you find out that these funds that the government are putting into place is just going down the drains. So we all, as Africans, need to protect our infrastructures, because those are the funds that government have taken from us as part of taxes to be able to put those structures in place. So it is our civic duty, it's our responsibility, and we all, as Africans, have to protect the infrastructures that we find in and around us. This is what we've been able to see in this week, beginning the week of 27 July, and it has been a wonderful time. I'm sure by tomorrow we're going to be celebrating a new month, August, and also the Republic of Benin is also going to be celebrating their independence, and because they got their independence from France in the year 1960. It's a good thing, and you can jump on the platform and you'll be able to get some other educative materials, especially this one from that we saw as from AGROTECH, which is one of the developers in the area of gas generating electricity, and they are putting out this article here about how driving efficiency through gas generated energy. And gas is one area that is gaining momentum in and around Africa, and it's something that, especially in Mozambique, we're seeing huge activities in Mozambique with LNG, and LNG looks to be something that has come to stay, and is an investment that is gaining a lot of interest from foreign direct investors. So it is a very interesting article for you to jump on and go and have a look at. That's all for now. Until next time, stay safe and stay healthy.